Tonight we have wonderful support for 3 different cards, being Saphira, Queen of Dragons, Soravis, the Ancient Ascendant, and Skull Guardian. Now let's get into these cards as we have 7 of them tonight. And the first one is Novak's Disciple of the Silent Enforcers. She is a light fairy, level 1, 50 attack, 250 defense. You can only use the first and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can place 1 Silent Enforcer continuous spell or trap card from your deck face up in your spell and trap card zone. If you would ritual summon exactly 1 light warrior or light dragon ritual monster with a card effect that requires use of monsters, you can use this card as the entire requirement, so like how Necros were back in 2015 with Shrit. And if a light warrior and or dragon ritual monster is special summoned to your field while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. So we have multiple different ways of having to ritual summon, which I really do like, and this is a very great start off for the... Next up, we have Saphira, the Wise Silent Enforcement Queen. She is a light dragon effect monster that is a level 6, with 2500 attack and 2400 defense to match her ritual counterpart. And you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. You can discard this card, then send 1 ritual spell from your deck to the graveyard. Then you can add 1 light warrior or dragon ritual monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And the second effect is you can banish this card from your graveyard, ritual summon 1 light warrior or dragon ritual monster from your hand by tributing monsters from your field or hand whose total levels equal or exceeds the level of the ritual monster you ritual summon. So being a type of Rhoda monster to get to your light and ritual monsters from your deck or graveyard to your hand is very useful, especially in a deck that's based around Saphira, Soravis, and Skull Guardian. Next up, we have the retrain of Soravis, being Soravis, the Sagely Silent Enforcement Dragon. It is a level 7 light dragon effect monster, 2600 attack and 2800 defense. You can only special summon with the first effect of this card's name once per turn, and you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. The first effect is you can special summon this card from your hand by shuffling 2 spell cards from your hand and or graveyard into the deck, including at least 1 ritual spell. When your opponent activates a card or quick effect, you can return this card to the hand, special summon 1 light warrior or dragon ritual monster from your hand or deck, but shuffle it into the deck during the end phase of the next turn. This is a very powerful card because you could summon out the big bad brand new Skull Guardian, so that is one great thing. You can also summon out Soravis or Saphira, depending on which situation you need, but most of the time you're going to be summoning out something like Soravis or the new Skull Guardian. And still, this card is a very powerful card, nonetheless, being able to recycle your ritual spells. Now, this is a card I've been really waiting to read. It is Skull Guardian, the Silent Enforcing Protector. It is a light warrior ritual effect, level 7, 2050 attack and 2500 defense. You can ritual summon this card with Silent Enforcing Prayer, and you can only use the first and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. If this card is ritual summoned, you can add 1 Silent Enforce monster or 1 warrior or dragon ritual monster from your deck to your hand. This card gains 2050 attack, while Novak's Disciple of the Silent Enforcers is on your field or in your graveyard. When your opponent activates a card or effect and you control Novak's Disciple of the Silent Enforcers, quick effect, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. So an Omni Negate on a ritual monster is very, very strong, and I really do love this card. This is a very powerful boss monster that we have to watch out for. Being able to boost its attack up to 4100 is very strong as well. To follow the ritual monster, we have Silent Enforcer Prayer, or Silent Enforcing Prayer. It is a ritual spell. You can only use the second effect of this card's name per turn. Ritual summon 1 light ritual monster from your hand by tributing light monsters from your hand or field whose total level equals or exceeds the level of the ritual monster you ritual summoned. If a face-up light ritual monsters you control leaves the field because of your opponent's card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon 1 Soravis, the Ancient Ascendant, or Saphira, the Queen of Dragons, or Skull Guardian, the Silent Enforcing Protector, from your deck or hand, ignoring its summoning condition. This card is relatively good, and honestly, I really like it because it replaces the card that was removed from the field from your opponent's card effect. Next, we have a continuous spell card being Silent Enforcing Barrier. It is a continuous spell card, and you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. While you control a Novok's Disciple of the Silent Enforcers or a light ritual monster, your opponent's monsters cannot target non-ritual monsters for attacks. Also, your opponent cannot target light monsters you control with card effects. During your main phase, you can add one Silent Enforce card or one Skull Guardian ritual monster from your deck to your hand, except Silent Enforcing Barrier. A very strong card, and I think it's going to be a 3 of because it's your main reinforcements of the army of the deck on top of the other ones that we do have. And to be honest, I cannot wait to see what the last card does because this is a really, really strong card alone. And finally, we have Silent Enforcing Authority. It is a continuous trap card, and you can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. The first effect is, during the main phase, you can activate one of these effects. Shuffle one light warrior or dragon ritual monster or one ritual spell from your hand or graveyard into the deck, and if you do, take one Silent Enforce monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it. That's very good. Or you can target cards your opponent controls up to the number of light warrior and or dragon ritual monsters you control. Destroy them. Also destroy this card. So we're having almost a Black Rose Dragon effect here, blowing up the board on certain cards, kind of like a Forbidden Droplet actually, more than that I think about it. Overall, this is a very, very solid card, and this is very, very solid support, so I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you want to see more content like this in the future, hit that like button down below. But anyways, I've been Bolt Spider. See you guys in the next video, and goodbye.